غفران رمضان 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 رمضان. May your Ramadan nights be blessed with welfare and forgiveness. May your Ramadan nights be blessed with welfare and forgiveness. May your Ramadan nights be blessed with welfare and forgiveness. May your Ramadan nights be blessed with welfare and forgiveness. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه وبعد. Praise be to Allah alone. We praise Him and we seek His help. Whomsoever Allah guides is the truly guided one, and whomsoever Allah leaves astray, no one can show him guidance. May the peace and blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dear brothers and sisters, it gives me a great pleasure to host the very first episode in this blessed program, Blessed Nights, with a great company of shuyukh and scholars to shed some light on the Quranic verses which we will hear on every single night during the Taraweeh. Allah the Almighty said in the Quran, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. When they understand and reflect and ponder on the Quran and its verses, or do their hearts have locks on them? So he blamed those who do not understand the Quran, do not ponder its verses. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Quran so easy to understand. He said, عز وجل, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Once again, it gives me a great pleasure to host today Sheikh Yusuf Estes, all the way from Virginia. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for joining us. And of course, Sheikh Ibrahim Zidan. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Ibrahim. Thank you all for joining us. Inshallah, we're going to have a blessed night and a blessed program.
You didn't mention he's from Alexandria.
He's from Alexandria, but Egypt.
Okay.
From Alexandria, Virginia.
That works.
Okay. Tonight, after you guys listen to the recitation of the very first juz, which of course begins with the opening of the book, Surah Al-Fatiha, which have also different names. Amongst its names is Surah As-Salah, Al-Fatiha, Al-Kitab, Al-Shifa. We want to know the meaning of these names and why was it called like that, and also get some insight from our beloved Sheikh Yusuf and Sheikh Ibrahim as well. So we'll have fun enjoying understanding some of the verses which were revealed in the first chapter of the Quran. Sheikh Yusuf, Surah Al-Fatiha, obviously everybody knows that it's called Al-Fatiha because it is the opening of the book. It is a shifa because it is also used as a mean of shifa by giving ruqyah for cure.
Yeah.
Would you give us some insight on that, please?
Well, of course, I'm sitting with real scholars, and I'm just a presenter of
What
Islam. And for me, I like to take from you guys as much as I can, and then take what you have, and then I put it in little capsules and give it out in small pieces.
Okay.
But this particular subject, I do have an experience about it, because when I was first exposed to the Quran, I was afraid of it. I had even said when I opened it up, God, protect me from any evil while I read these words, not knowing you're supposed to say that when you begin anyway. So when we begin reading Quran, we usually say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim, and I'm seeking refuge with Allah from the evil one, which is the devil, the shaitan. So unbeknownst to me, I had done the right thing, and in more ways than one. And when I began to read those words, I thought, my God, this is so straightforward. The meaning, even from the English, especially when it comes to the part where it says, Ihdina siratal mustaqim, guide us on this straight path. And that ultimately caused me to say the right words when I asked for guidance, when I put my head on the ground and I said, oh, guide me. It's coming right from the Quran. So in reflection, looking back later, when I was comparing notes from Bible, things that I'd written, many things about it before coming to Islam, I realized that there's something about this mentioned in the Bible, because it says knock and it'll be open to you. The whole phrase coming from the New Testament talks about this by saying that seek and you will find, ask and you will receive, knock and it will be open. Now the first two, I always thought that those were pretty clear. You know, if you ask, obviously you should be able to get something for asking. And also this idea of seeking after something. And it seemed to me that somehow this idea of Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim was connecting here with me. But I still couldn't put my finger on it. Till one day some of the brothers were explaining to me that Fatiha means opening. And I said, hold on, what did you say? It means open? Oh my God. This is, for me, a clear message. Okay, because I was doing exactly, I was asking God to guide me. And I was seeking guidance. And when I used the words from Al-Fatiha, it guided me.
You know, Sheikh Yusuf, there is a hadith in this regard. It's a sound hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ narrated that Allah the Almighty said, قَسَمْتُ الصَّلَاةَ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ عَبِدِي نَصْفَيْنِ. I have divided into half the prayer. And the prayer is actually one of the names of Surah Al-Fatiha, which is As-Salah. I have divided it into two halves because the first half is about praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, glorifying Him, exalting Him. Then afterward, you get to ask. So He teaches us the proper way of asking. After praising, glorifying, and exalting, and then you ask. And when you ask, what is the most important thing? What's your greatest object in this life? Is what? Ihdina. So Sheikh Ibrahim, let's know a little bit about the greatest thing that a believer aims at and longs for in this life.
Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala Rasulullah. As you said, it depends on what the person's heart is attached to. People's needs are so many. But when it comes to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, He teaches us in Surah Al-Fatiha, which in it, all the Quran, something that is unique, not in the books before, that teaches and guides the believers that the most important need in our life is to be guided to the straight path. Some people, they think that once they're guided to be a Muslim, that's it. Why would I need another guidance? We need guidance with every breath we take. Because we speak, we do actions, we have deeds done by the heart. And if it's not on the straight path, it will be somewhere else.
And also guidance is not for granted.
Right.
Somebody is guided today, tomorrow he may be misguided due to going along with his temptations or inner desire or whatever. That's why the Prophet ﷺ's most frequently dua was, Allahumma muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. Oh Allah, the one who changes the hearts, keep my heart firm on your religion. So one should understand that we definitely need to ask for guidance with every breath that we take.
Right.
Is that why also Al-Fatiha, one of its names is al-Kitab, or the mother of the book?
No, the mother of the book, because all the meanings in the Quran, we can find it in general terms and compiled in Surah Al-Fatiha. That's why it's a pillar of the Salah. It's something that we recite every day at least 17 times. It's meant to be this way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from the believers something, if they are reminded with Surah Al-Fatiha at least 17 times if they don't pray the Sunnah prayer. And that's why we say things with our tongues, but with the heart when it comes to listening and reciting the Quran.
The Quran, in the way it is phrased, because it is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is the most eloquent word, the most eloquent speech. And that's why it is not sufficient to say, guide me. Rather, every Muslim, even though he's praying just for the benefit of himself, he should say, guide us. Not guide us TV. Of course, guide us TV aims at the same goal, which is to guide us.
Thank you for the free plug.
Guide us. Imagine if somebody said, Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim. His prayer is invalid. Because you must care about the entire ummah at large.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. If he said what?
Ihdini, which means guide me.
Which is just myself.
Just myself. And the person must, at least, as the Shaykh said, 17 times a day, in every rak'ah of the fard prayers, in addition, of course, to the nafil, the voluntary prayers.
That brings us to something. Some people I heard say that you just need to recite the Fatiha in the first rak'ah, and then like when they're praying maybe Asr or Dhuhr or Isha, and they don't bother about that in the other rak'ahs.
No, as a matter of fact,
they just mention a little bit of Quran in the last two. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Pray for. So in the last two, they just say
this
a
is
few
entirely
things.
invalid, because why do you call it Surah As-Salah? Because it is required for every musalli, for every person who prays, to recite Al-Fatiha in every single rak'ah. It is one of the pillars of the prayer, like standing, like bowing down. And so if the person did not recite Surah Al-Fatiha in any rak'ah, the entire prayer is invalid.
The whole prayer?
Yes.
You can't just like do two rak'ahs, what you call sajda as-sahw?
Forgetfulness. That if you have forgotten and you were reminded, you can make it up by making up an entire rak'ah. The rak'ah which you did not recite Surah Al-Fatiha in it.
So just two prostrations are not going to cut it. You're going to have to get another rak'ah and the two.
Surah Al-Fatiha.
I didn't mean to get off the subject, but I know you have that whole series about the Salah. Jazakallah khair for that.
The surah is so great that if we spend a whole month talking about the surah, it won't be sufficient. I want to remind the viewers with one of its names, which is Ash-Shifa, because it is one of the great means of reciting Ruqya, as it is narrated in the sound hadith, that the Ruqya is valid for physical and spiritual or psychological diseases. If any person is suffering from anything, in addition to seeking the proper medication, it's also best to give Ruqya by the means of reciting Surah Al-Fatiha upon the person who's sick, and the Prophet ﷺ approved that. And Umar ibn Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, used to recite nothing in the Ruqya other than Surah Al-Fatiha. But guess who was the reciter? It was Umar ibn Khattab. All of that will be discussed, inshaAllah, after the short break, so stay tuned.
Ramadan, 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 Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Now we want to roll on and move to another verse, the whole chapter, Surah Al-Baqarah, the second chapter of the Quran, which is a Madani. It has been revealed in Medina, in order to have an idea of what kind of theme the chapter will be talking about. There will be a mention of the different categories of people, the believers, the hypocrites, and the disbelievers, and an invitation of the Quran to line up with the first category, which is the believers, and warn them against being of the second or the third categories. But there are a few verses. One verse is followed by a few verses. Really, I need to stop by them in order to have some insight myself on them. It's verse number 21, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. You know that there is over almost 20 times in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses this call by saying, "O people, O mankind." It's a universal religion. It's not only for the Arab or the Bedouins or the Saudis. O mankind. And another 5 calls from 5 verses, Ya Bani Adam, O the children of Adam. So multiple times have been used the call, Ya Ayyuhan Nasu. He calls them here, اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم. Worship your Lord who created you and who created those who came before you. Why? لعلكم تتقون. In order to avoid his anger, avoid his punishment, avoid the fire of hell. Sheikh Yusuf, there are 2 books. There is a universal book which everybody can read, even the illiterate ones. And there is a book that was revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the Quran. Consists of 114 chapters. If one cannot read that open universal book, then he will have a great difficulty understanding this book. Because the universal book can be read by everybody, even the illiterate, which is looking around you in order to ponder on the magnificent creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.